All right. I have some chips and salsa. We're ready to go. Hey, Lethality Complex. Diadems, thank you very much for sponsoring boxes. Derek, thank you very much for not only sponsoring a box, but giving a couple of our loose miniatures a home. That was very nice of you. And I hope that the miniatures are going to end up serving you well in what you're trying to do here. Killer, if I recall correctly, you said that you want to make it, well, you enjoy the complication. If nothing else, you seem to have the mind for it because you're an engineer of some sort. But you don't want the players to know how complex the story is. You want it to be a smooth, seamless interface on the for your end user, but you don't mind having a complex series. Well, I mean, look, as Derek has put it, Derek is a strings and dominoes style plot maker. So you two might be able to collude and get some really good mojo flowing. All right, Dark Wolf. Sleep well. We'll see you around. I'm sorry, not an engineer. A physicist. A physicist. And half shame on me, half I blame Big Bang Theory. Because I've been shotgunning seasons, and that's a big point of contention. Is Sheldon looks at Howard with like absolute contempt. Like, not only does he only have a master's degree, but Howard is an engineer, where Sheldon is the double doctorate physicist, thereby only tolerating Leonard, who only has 1 degree in physics. So yeah, I was shotgunning some seasons of that recently, so that I must have had that on my mind. Also, it was good to see Monger back here. I don't know if he's still here, and despite having his motorcycle accident, Monger is an engineer, a water engineer to be precise. I'm sure he does a lot with physics. Probably not in the same way you do, killer sense of humor. Although he was actually over in Japan helping to work on a water pump in the Fukushima, kind of the ruins of that. Killer. You know, and I've had a lot of people in the store say, you know, oh, it gives nerds or geeks or D&D players or whatever. Maybe it's a guilty pleasure. I understand their arguments, and I understand if that's how you feel as well. But I take it at surface value. You know, it's a sitcom. It's whatever. Ah, lethality. Did someone call for a physicist? Because I'm currently doing undergrad study. Darkwolf had to bare her fangs, if only a little bit, to flex her modular AWU powers. Yeah. What a face. All right. Well, hey, Lethality Complex. Good to see you. I took yesterday off. I needed sleep. I was super tired. And just as no game is better than a bad game, especially if it's an ongoing, like, bad game, I didn't want to run the risk of having a poor show for you all yesterday. So I slept, I'm refreshed, and let's get back into providing some detail on the broad sense of the campaign setting that Lethality Complex, I mean, primarily him, I was prompting him, I was acting as an interviewer, but our co-Ravnican DM, Lethality Complex, was providing us some ideas. for what we can do to make a setting for our two anti-heroes to run some kind of an adventure inside of. So I want to get into NPCs. This is something else that Derek does have a lot of experience with. There's 50 prepositions. I'll use them all. The DMG. I'm sorry. Pardon me. The DMG has an entire section on helping you come up with and flesh out NPCs. If you're a new DM, or even if you're an old one, but you want to switch up maybe how you've been doing things, this is a good back-to-basics reference starting point for you. And so with the NPC ideas that we had from Wednesday's show, I want to now go to page 89, and I want to look at what the DMG is suggesting as a course of action. And yes, DJ Delta, you were an understudy co-DM. Oh, there go my headphones. And my battery pack's in the other room. Because I ran out, we had a power outage today. And I'm like, yeah, I'll just go out and about for a little while. And I brought my battery pack and I didn't bring it in the room with me. That's fine. I can cool off my noggin a little bit anyway. Non-player character, or a non-player character, is any character controlled by the DM. It's really everyone else in the world besides the PCs. They can be enemies, allies, regular folk, named monsters. They can include the local innkeeper, the old wizard who lives in the tower on the outskirts of town, the Death Knight, out to destroy the kingdom, and the Dargan, counting gold in its cavernous lair. For NPCs who play larger roles in your adventures, allow more time to flesh out their histories and personalities. As you'll see, 10 sentences can sum up the main elements of a memorable NPC. One sentence for each of the following: occupation and history, appearance, abilities, talent, mannerism, interaction with others, useful knowledge, an ideal, a bond, and a flaw or a secret. In one sentence, describe the NPC's occupation and provide a brief historical note that hints at the character's past. For example, the NPC might have served in an army, been in prison for a crime, or adventured years ago. Alright, so let's take a look here. We want to make... Not all our NPCs need to be detailed. If there is one that is going to be detailed, it's probably going to be this kindly Orzhov priestess we were talking about. Right? It taught both of our anti-heroes the value of cooperation, selflessness. Is probably now a ghost. And so let's make her as an NPC, and let's use the DMG's methodology for this. Pouty lips, I do indeed. Oh, I hope your cat's okay, Cake Boss. Since 2006, I've been a part of it, and I've owned it outright since 2008. DJ Delta, can I ask what you think of town guards that are part of a cult, and you find clear cult members of the cult of X that have wanted signs and they just edit themselves simply by having a poorly made up disguise? You bring them with a wanted poster of them normal look, and town guards say, oh, those are not them. I'm not sure if I'm completely following you, DJ Delta. Can I ask what you think of town's guards that are part of a cult, and you find clear cult members of the cult of whatever that have wanted signs, and they just edit themselves simply by having a poorly made up disguise? You bring them with a wanted poster of them. Well, they can provide... it really depends on what you want to do with them in your story. I mean, just having them is fine. But if you're going to introduce something in your story, everything doesn't have to exist for the sole purpose of moving your story forward. But knowing that the town guards are corrupt will have an influence on your story, because your PCs might not trust the law or the authority. They might act disrespectfully to all of them, even though maybe only some of them are cult members. Well, I hope your cat's okay, Cake Boss. Alright, so we, in one sentence, describe the NPC's occupation and provide a brief historical note that hints at the character's past. Okay. Currently haunts an Orzhov chapel in... Nope. Brief. Currently haunts an Orzhov chapel. Paying off her deception to the syndicate in life. Having covered up for the community's debts. Appearance. Okay. If you want something on the fly, there are 20 different prompts. You can roll a d20. You can take any of these literally, metaphorically, as a suggestion. Maybe, maybe you get formal. You like formal, clean clothes. But I don't know. Let's say it's a dryad, and dryads don't wear clean clothes. But the prompt still makes you think that, every little frond and blossom is in order. Despite being this, this nature elementally kind of force, this primeval force, she's very orderly. And so forth. He's a big baby. I have a 16-pound furry baby as well. Fireworks, thunder. Heck, when I flap a trash bag to put it back in after replacing the old one, he goes scampering off. Let's roll a d20. And here, let's do this. Occupation and history. NPC appearance. In one sentence, describe the NPC's most distinctive physical features. You can roll on the NPC appearance table or choose a feature that suits the character. Roll a d20 and... Or yeah, or maybe the Dryad's is wearing a dress made out of flowers. You know, and since when do Dryads wear anything, really? They don't really have to. Exceptionally beautiful. Okay. So let's make this into a sentence. Let's not just leave it at that. What is exceptionally beautiful about her? Well, eyes are the window of the soul. She does work for the Orzhoffs. Her eyes, even in death, are a lovely violet and have always remained youthful and sparkling, even into old age and death. The crown jewels of a woman who could have done many other things in life with her looks, yet chose to serve the poor through the syndicate of all operations. Does that help convey this NPC better? Are you able to make a connection with her? If I were to describe this ghost, let alone in a flashback or something, how she used to look in life, does this make it? Does this make her more real to you as a PC, or as a prospective PC? You don't need to roll ability scores for the NPC, but note abilities that are above or below average. Great strength or monumental stupidity, for example, and use them to inform the NPC's qualities. Alright, so we have... Now, you could, if you wanted to, you could roll, you could use the standard array, you could do whatever. In this case, let's go high is 2 is her dexterity. Low is constitution. Yes, it seems so. Or at least in life, that's what she was. As a ghost, maybe she's something different, or you want to use the ghost stat blocks out of the monster manual. But when we're describing her, not that she has to, not that she has to, how do I want to say this? When you're describing her, you don't have to give an indication like you catch her in the middle of doing the limbo, and thereby demonstrating her great dexterity. But you can always you can provide subtle clues. Or look, as we're generating this NPC, she had a low constitution. Maybe in her while she was alive, let alone in her youth or old age, maybe she was always a little sickly looking, a little pale looking. And it gave her this haunting beauty, especially with her sparkling violet eyes. And so this was something that was always inevitable. Maybe she joined the Orzhoffs because she thought that that's how she could continue living because she knew that she was sick. Yeah, Pouty Lips, you're welcome to share that in our in character art if you'd like to. Or, yeah. Drop it in here, too. Now, let's put this in a sentence, right? Challenge yourself. Write a sentence or two. Keep it brief. Keep it brief so you can have flexibility. Even in youth and life, she was always somewhat gaunt and pale. When the light from the stained glass hit her, she radiated the colors as a beautiful, glowing, living ghost. There we go. Now, when your PCs interact with her, you can continue to drop hints, you can continue to add narration, etc. Oh, you know, there are rules for guns. You might be using them out of the DMG, Victor, but there are things like muskets and such, like black powder guns, if that's the level of tech you're using. But it is interesting to hear that they're advancing in tech up to that point. I hope they're having fun with your campaign. Yeah, you know, DJ, even as a ghost, she may still faint easily enough. Hey, look at that. I really like that, Pouty Lips. Maybe I should... Actually, you know, Pouty Lips? Maybe I should host some kind of a pumpkin carving contest. We are coming up to Halloween. So maybe if you all carve different pumpkins that might be related to roleplay somehow, we can have a pumpkin carving contest of some kind. And you all can share your pictures on the Discord. And maybe I can hand out a prize or something in a couple different categories. Yeah, hey, a D20 pumpkin. Huh. That is awesome, Pouty Lips. Thank you for sharing that with us. They made it to the temple after climbing the wall around it, and what they found was... Well, because you are running kind of an Eldritch horror, right? You said because it's kind of based on Bloodborne. So I hope you're keeping them guessing. All right. What is her talent? In one sentence, describe something that your NPC can do that is special, if anything. Roll in the NPC talent table or use it to spur your own ideas. 17, an expert juggler. Well, she does have a high dex. One of the ways she connected with the common folk, and something she misses doing now as a ghost, is juggling various items for them while preaching about debt responsibility responsibility and other tenets of the faith. Right? Because you're like, oh, I'm juggling my bills, and I have so much, I have so much going on. Shame on me for misspelling that. And other tenets of faith. So she would juggle as a way to entertain and to try and open up people's minds and show, I understand you're juggling your job and a family, or you're trying to make ends meet and your rent. And so, through the faith in the Orzhov Syndicate, these are our ways that you can handle your debts, that you can budget your household income and do all this. And so she would make a physical show of it to not just be haughty and austere and say, well, but actually come across as caring, and she's trying to entertain and inform at the same time. That could be also DJ. Daily, yeah. How can I hint she's had a high dex juggler? Okay. Got there. Have faith. Let the random numbers guide you. Many other places in Twitch, random numbers are bad. Right? For speedrunners and world record holders or whatever. Here, we embrace the randomness. Well, they found it, but did it get them, or did they get it? Or did they get eaten? Mannerism. Let's roll a d20. Describe one mannerism that will help players remember the NPC. 15. Wow, I like this dice roller tonight. High rolling. Stares into the distance. Okay. So she stares into the distance. She always seemed distracted or even observant of what might happen. Perhaps she was ever watchful for members of her own faith to come calling and expose her cooked books. If you remember, in our conceptualizing of this NPC, she was and is. Kind of past tense is odd in the Orzhov Syndicate. She works for him, and she was trying to protect this neighborhood by kind of cooking the books, by making it seem like payments were made when in fact they might not have been. And so maybe she stared off in the distance because she knew that someday, descending down the main elevator or the stairs or something would happen where the Orzhovs would come calling, reconcile her books, and realize that they weren't matching up. And so she was willing to face that inevitability, but she was always staring, always watchful. And because we made the focus her eyes, a lot of people would see her staring too. DJ Delta? Oh no. No, the Dryad gotcha. Well, the Dryad's wearing your skin now as a dress. How about that, DJ Delta? Global cooldown is 1 minute. Personal cooldown is 5 minutes. They barely got it after Elias crushed its skull and dropped one of the many symbols of the temple in a pocket watch. Now, interactions with others. In one sentence, describe how the NPC interacts with others using the NPC interaction table. An NPC's behavior can change depending on who he or she is interacting with. For example, an innkeeper might be friendly towards guests and rude to her staff. So let's see. Let's roll a d12. 9. Irritable. Okay. She would often become irritated with those under her spiritual care, as their lives, despite her best lectures, never really seemed to improve. The debts only continued to pile up. So here's a woman, she's doing her best, and despite her juggling, her lectures, even her beauty, the people she's trying to keep out of debt continue to rack up debt, and it's irritating her. She still wants to help them, but the pressures are, have been making her crack, have been building. Maybe she doesn't really vent this to many other people, or maybe that's a secret that our two anti-heroes know about her, is that underneath that beautiful, graceful smile and behind those amethyst eyes was a woman who, she had her heart in the right place, but was very disappointed or irritated at the very people that she was trying to serve, because it's like nothing she said or did mattered as their lives continued to spiral downward. Useful knowledge. In a sentence, describe one bit of knowledge the NPC possesses that might be of use to the player characters. The NPC might know something is banal, as the best inn in town, or as important as a clue needed to solve a murder. So in this case, we have the impetus of the adventure is that the Orzhov Syndicate is going to effectively evict the entire neighborhood. And it's not going to be nice. And in fact, she doesn't want that to happen. And, for lovey-dovey, touchy-feely reasons. And for our two anti-heroes, they don't want it to happen for economic reasons. And so she might have some useful knowledge, but now in death, as she is indentured to the Orzhovs to pay off her debts for cooking the books, maybe she's not allowed to talk about something that she knows that might actually help them. But she can hint at something, which could be the evidence that's needed to take to the Azorius Senate in order to have an injunction placed on the eviction. So how about that? She knows a weakness or legal flaw in the eviction, but cannot speak directly of it because of her servitude. Because the Orzhovs don't play, that's right. That is to say, obliterate all life, yeah. Because then you can just come in and take all their property and not have to deal with pesky people trying to, you know, shoo you out of their house. If you just revoke their existence, you evict them in a particular fashion. In fact, Lethality, if you want to put a link up to that card. Oh, you defeated the bandits' pouty lips? Okay. And you get 75 for it. Victor, they asked the old man at the church about the watch and found out that that beast was originally the person who could have helped them get out. How did they feel about that, Victor? Yep, there we go. So, if you all want a storyline reason, and also a time frame, a motivating time frame that is also tying D&D in with Magic the Gathering, this neighborhood is facing a merciless eviction. Yep, you got that Dryad. You managed to recover DJ Delta's skin it was wearing as a dress. It's nasty. Well, it's because they pull that whole, look, we tried to help you. We tried to counsel you. We even gave you the money up front. You're not paying it back. You haven't listened to our words. You know, with them having, you know, to expect uniform compliance and circumstance to, you know, whatever's happening. Well, we gave you a chance. Bye. Ideal. In a sentence, describe one ideal the NPC holds dear, which governs his or her greater actions. Ideals can connect to alignment as shown in the NPC ideal. I don't know what her alignment would be. Yeah, there are suggestions. An evil character can have beauty as an ideal. Well, let's, I mean, we can choose, but I enjoy the challenge of subjecting ourselves to randomness, especially given that some of the things we already know about this character. So I'm going to roll a d6 for which category? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I'll roll another d6 to determine which ideal it will be. So 2d6 in this case. 3 and 5. Good, evil, lawful. And then lawful 5 is responsibility. Hey! Isn't this what we've been talking about? Trust the dice. Trust the dice. There we go. She wants people to be responsible for themselves and has committed her life to helping others to do so. Even if, or maybe purposely so, it weakens the syndicate as the profit from usury dwindles. So, how about that? She might be trying to take down the Orzhovs from the inside. In life, and who knows what she's trying to do in death. Now, do our main characters know this? Probably not. However, it's a forested trail along which we can leave breadcrumb clues along the way, so that they actually come to realize that she's trying to do almost like a V for Vendetta, where she's infiltrating this, this government or this service, and she wants to bring them down for the cruelty and oppression that they cause. All right, her bond. We're going to roll a d10. 7. Protective of a sentimental keepsake. Maybe the keepsake is the that could be the evidence against the Orzhov clan. That she was able to get or smuggle out or develop, but she can't talk about it. But she's protecting it for the right moment. It could be, and even that, in a sense, it's not the One Ring. It's still kind of a MacGuffin. If we're looking at it as a story, as a story-driven, point or purpose, or. What if it was a favorite pair of earrings she wore? Or it could be, whether they're magical or non-magical. Heck, we can roll a random trinket out of the player's handbook, and that could be it. And it doesn't have to be directly related to the story, but it could be interesting or useful. It could be a fun gadget given to the PCs to hang on to remember her. Or it could even be the key that opens the vault where this evidence is stashed, and she couldn't directly tell the PCs that this is what it is because of the conditions of her unlife contract. But the PCs can go on to figure it out for themselves. So how about that? A trinket, which is actually the key to finding the evidence against the syndicate. In one sentence, describe the NPC's flaw. Some element of the character's personality or history that could potentially undermine the character, or a secret that the NPC is trying to hide. Ooh. Number 5. Overpowering Greed. How about what a twist? Maybe she's doing this to bring down the Orzhov Guild, at least in this district. Maybe she then wanted to assert herself. Because she says, I can be a gentle dictator, right? I could be a friendly dictator, but I want to be the dictator. I want to run the Orzhovs here. Or she is greedy, and I don't know. Maybe instead she would be Orzhov light, right? You have she'd have her own brand of Orzavian thinking. You know, you had the Catholic Church, you had Protestants, and then in between you have, you know, the Church of England or Episcopals, who are kind of Catholic light. I'm not saying this to make fun if any of you are Episcopals. Yeah, I'm trying to make a broad point here, right? Where maybe she wants some kind of like a Protestant Reformation, but of course, being the leader of a faith does bring a lot of benefits. Social, maybe spiritual, monetary, real estate, just goods in general, services, reputation, trust. These are all currencies. Hi, New Monica. Her reasons for wanting to bring down the Orzovs in this district aren't selfless at all. In fact, she wants to step into the power vacuum after everything happens. How about that? We have gone through 10 steps of fleshing out an NPC. And while we discussed stats, we didn't even list out any numbers. Do you feel as if you know this character better? Do you feel as if she's a part of a living world around her? And all it took was a couple minutes in referencing the DMG. Right? These are all thinking exercises. Pardon. Victor saying just as planned. Your campaign does sound very contentious, and I don't say that in a necessarily a bad way, Victor, because we all play D&D differently. But it does sound almost like a game of chess, you know, where you are trying to outmaneuver your players are trying to outmaneuver you, and so it's a very strategic kind of game of one-upsmanship. Okay. Let's choose one more NPC and flesh them out. Also, if any of you has a name for our Orzavian priestess, you are welcome to offer it. What would you like her name to be? So we're going to now copy this and come down here. And we're going to do this one more time with another NPC to go through the process. Cindy Rose. What race is she? Is she Vidalcan, human, elf, Loxodon, Who else lives in Ravnica? Goblin? Is she a goblin? What would you like her to be? Now let's look at our other NPCs. You have Average Joe Rakdos Worker. We have a kind of a rogue Is It Scientist. We have... this Boros foil that chases them or maybe even gives them moral lectures. That could be an interesting one. So a half elf? Do you wanna split the difference? I don't know. What are you looking for? We need decisions. Give me a decision. Maybe she's a golem. Is there a Warforged race in 5e? Technically, yes. The Eberron content is considered on the same tier as Unearthed Arcana, but it does exist. Half elf would work perfectly. So she had a lifespan. If she died, pardon, if she did die naturally. Then she had a long time to plot and plan. What's her domain? She's a cleric of what? Light, life, death, war, knowledge. Oh, so you're wrapping up your campaign right now, Victor. Ooh, trickery. Ooh, trickery. I love trickery clerics. Ooh, all right. Oh, you. Oh, my camera keeps jumping. I really got to get a better setup for this. This is, it's a thing. Thank you all to those, by the way, who were bidding on boxes earlier. That was really nice of you, and it was a lot of fun to work with you all. Oh, you're foreshadowing, Victor. Gotcha. I got you, lethality. I'm picking up what you're laying down. All right. So, well then here, why don't we do this? You know, war clerics as being more the Rakdos or the Boros Legion. For our second NPC, why don't we flesh out whoever this Boros character is? Okay. Someone give me a name. Someone give me a race. That's appropriate for someone in the Boros Legion. Are they a Wojek? Are they some kind of an assault troop? Are they a captain? We went into the fact that they're acting as a foil, but we never really got into, you know, we said that that this character, whether it's a he or a she, is kind of like a Zenigata from Lupin, right? It's the Interpol detective who's chasing Lupin around, You know, will always try and capture him, but never really does. Or, in the off chance he does have the opportunity, he's let Lupin go a couple times because of reasons. So we have a vague direction we want this character to go in. You know, this is kind of like the hard-boiled detective, maybe, that doesn't like what these two other characters are doing, but what they're doing is just gray enough that it warrants attention, but maybe not full action. A goblin or a minotaur? Oh, and Victor. Okay, so you are having them kind of go to these different locations and fetch these items to bring them together for the final fight. That's a tried and true method of running a campaign. Goblin, Minotaur, Angel. You know, so we could run as an Angel or an Aasimar, if we're talking D&D. Goblins and Minotaurs exist in D&D races as well. So we have 3 suggestions: Goblin, Minotaur, Angel. What would you like it to be? Celine Peon. Oh, alright, it's not overtly known, Victor. You have a soft spot for kobolds and goblins are similar. Why did 3rd edition change kobolds into dragons? Oh, D&D time. Hey, thank you for the host. Roll a D3? Sure. So, 1 is Goblin, 2 is Minotaur, 3 is Angel. 2, Minotaur. So Pouty Lips made a recommendation for Celine Peon as the name of our Minotaur. Do you see that this is a character is a male, female? What would you like to name our Minotaur? All right, Victor. Hey, thank you for sharing what's been going on at your tabletop. I appreciate it. So all we know right now, we have a Minotaur. Name, gender, and give me what class you think he's going to be in D&D terms. An Eldritch Knight fighter. As he is a detective of some kind. A thief rogue, right? You don't have to steal, but it gives you mobility. It lets you counteract other thieves because you know their lifestyle. Do you see this person as a warlock of some kind, or a paladin, or a ranger? Rangers are good at stalking as well. Do you see this person as a monk? You know, challenge yourself. All monks don't have to have shaved heads and wear, you know, yellow temple robes. He can still wear a police uniform and carry a baton or a club or some other monk weapon. So think about his job. Think about what he does. Paladin can work. You know, paladins do tend to be the which oath of the player's handbook? Which oath? Devotion, says lethality. So this guy is a very kind of stereotypical noble, bright, goody two shoes, upholds the letter of the law kind of a thing. Like a Boros Reckoner? Sure. That's why is that so funny? There's our devotion paladin. Hey, and who knows? This could be a good roleplay opportunity. What if he did grow up on the mean streets, right? What if he was a gangster or a thug or something, and he joined the Boros Legion as kind of a scared straight officer? The Paladin Oath of YOLO. That's right. So I don't know. This could be a good roleplay prompt, right? So what if he actually was a scrappy Minotaur, you know, making poor decisions on street corners? Or she. I don't think we've necessarily said a he or a she. And something happened that we could generate with this NPC or thereabouts through storytelling. And this character joined the Boros to try and get people to live. Oh, you know, this would almost make this NPC a mirror of the Orzovian priestess, because this person seemingly, at least seemingly, wants responsibility. Possibly DJ, yeah, possibly, or was also guildless. In fact, maybe that's why he has or she has a soft spot for the PCs, because the PCs are effectively guildless characters who are doing the wrong things for the right reasons. Yeah? How about that? I think I'm going to save this image and load it on our RP memes for later. I love it. I love it. I love it. Oh, gosh. You see what happens when you take this journey? You see what happens when you open yourself up to all kinds of inspiration? You look around you and you see what's there. Okay. Let's go back up. And generate an appearance. D20. 8. Missing fingers. Oh, you want to talk about something happened in that Rakdos cult, huh? Lost in a Rakdos initiation or punishment or both ritual. Where's a simple prosthetic to help hold weapons? Abilities. All right. We have a high ability and a low ability. D6. Actually, it'll be 2d6. High and low. 5 and 4. Wisdom is high. Intelligence is low. And now let's make a sentence about this. Learned a lot from the streets and has common sense. However, is not very well versed with books and is passably literate. And also still speaks with slang. Pouty Lips is going on a stroll through the forest. A dryad comes out again. Whoa, you all have gotten these dryads really upset. 14 and 14. Pouty Lips, not only did you defeat the Mad Dryad, but a random magical effect has occurred. I want you to roll 1d100 for me. Wow, 44 again. Alright, so Pouty Lips, for the next minute, you can teleport up to 20 feet as a bonus action on each of your turns. You must have, like, absorbed a little bit of magic from that slain dryad. Alright, his or her talent. D20. 16. Expert dart thrower and rock skipper. All right, Derek. Hey, be well, my friend. It was good to see you and have you around for a while. Sleep well, and we'll talk later. Ooh, nice going, DJ. You got that poisonous snake. Expert dart thrower and rock skipper learned how to provoke a fight from a distance or otherwise throw a brick into a store window or a flaming bottle of alcohol at the police. Might make for a proficiency with the hand crossbow also. Oh, okay. I have some winnings to hand out here. 125 to DJ Delta. And Lethality Complex is wrecking a skeleton. For 500. Hey, Fluffy, good to see you. Yeah, you know, Fluffy, ever since you mentioned that now, yeah, ever since you mentioned that, I don't know if I've seen a 20. And I'm fairly certain that the bot language does have a 20 as a possibility. That's odd. I'll have to go back and take a look. It's probably a less than versus less than or equal to type error. Mannerism on a D20. 16. Choose something. Constantly... Constantly choose a mild stimulant he was addicted to since his gang days, and spits as frequently, though now more politely. Yeah, I give out a bonus on that, DJ. Interactions with others. D12. 3. Blustering. Maybe. Yeah. So instead of that, or in between, like every other, he's trying to phase it out. Maybe he choose some Ravnica equivalent of bubblegum. But still spits the gum on the floor. Oh, yeah, so he might forget. Hey, he's a gumshoe, right? Oh. Oh, not too bad of a pull, Pouty Lips. Speaking of blustering, So we have Pouty Lips, whom the NPC in our Tuesday game, Pouty Lips, is named after, who is also a blustering merchant. Useful knowledge. In a sentence, describe one bit of knowledge the NPC possesses that might be of use to the player characters. So he probably knows something, but he doesn't know that he knows something. Gumshoe? Benowulf, hello! Just a question. I've started my party's game in Ravenloft. I'm taking parts from various modules like Carael from Keep on the Shadowfell and made him a Mind Flayer. My big question is, when should I introduce Strahd to my party? They are getting around and causing trouble, but I don't want to drop him in the game too early. What do you think? Well, if you are... It's really going to depend on the type of Strahd that you're running. Strahd... Strahd is a type of person who enjoys... He's the cat who likes playing with his food before he eats it. Yeah, whenever he gets hungry. Kind of, Fluffy Sheep. He is the cat that plays with his mouse or his bird before he ends them. And so what he'll do is he'll probably instill some kind of horror or stress or both in some sort of hidden or remote way. And then when the time is right, maybe the characters are blaming themselves for something, or they realize just what they've gotten into, he would probably then reveal himself and say, welcome, you are worms in my earth. I am your host here in Ravenloft or Barovia or whatever sort of Innistrad or something like that you want to set it in, or whatever you want to call it. I hope that you've enjoyed the warm welcome I've given you, and I hope that you'll continue to provide further entertainment. As such, being a good host, I will continue to provide you with ever more fun parlor games. When you're ready, you have an open invitation to my castle, should you wish to sit down and talk like civil people. Kisses, Strahd. Was that helpful to you, Benowulf? Well, I appreciate you coming in here, and you're asking for some advice, and I really hope it works out for you. You are always welcome to pop in and say hi. You can always ask questions. If you're not on our Discord, you're welcome to join us there for even when I'm not broadcasting. But this is why we exist, Benowulf. We want to help others have an awesome game. If you're new, we want to help onboard you to playing role-playing games. I mean, primarily D&D, because that's our bread and butter. But if you all play Pathfinder, you play World of Darkness, you play Dark Heresy, Maid RPG, All Flesh Must Be Eaten, Lamentations of the Flame Princess, or something else, Bessem, GURPS, that's fine. We want you role-playing and having fun. So useful knowledge. He doesn't remember it, but when he was in his youth in the cult. He was privy to some info about the Orzovs. He won't or can't remember it unless a particular prompt is offered by the PCs. How about that? How about that, huh? His ideal, we're going to roll 2d6 and figure it out. 5 and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Neutral ideal and neutrality. He has seen the damages that conflict can have on people and property, and wishes to avoid more of it if it can be helped. Which is also why he can straddle the line between Wojek. Oh, Benawolf, thank you. You didn't have to do that, but you know what? It's okay you spilled the bits. We'll pick them up. Thank you. I really mean that. You're very welcome. Join us anytime, ask questions, and hey, Benawolf, let us know. Let us know how it works. If the advice has helped, or even if it gets you in a pinch because the players are really digging it and you find yourself in a, oh, what do I do now? We'll help you. Come to us and we'll help you. Oh, maybe DJ, right? Because at the time, that's when he was developing his habit, but he hasn't been chewing it for so long that, you know, those memories that were associated with his earlier days. Yeah, that could be. Okay, his bond is D10. 2. Protective of close family members. Having no family left that he knows of due to his past cult activities. He keeps friends and others he knows on the block close under his observation and protection. So because our two PCs live in the block also, and he has this neutrality mentality, that's probably why he does chase after them. He will lecture them or he'll do these things, but maybe he's actually kind of remiss to bring them in or to arrest them on severe charges. So, you know, they go in and he catches them red-handed, murdering a known kidnapper. You know, probably even worse, but we'll just say a kidnapper. You know, this person's wanted, and sure enough, our Minotaur bursts in right when the kidnapper is being dispatched, and he says, like, I can't let you go for this. I'm gonna have to bring you up on charges, and it looks like, you know, you killed him here in the alleyway, or whatever. Look, the blood is everywhere. I'm going to bring you in on vandalism, and you're going to have to account for this misdemeanor. because someone's going to have to clean up this this mess. And so I'm charging you with vandalizing public property. And he probably doesn't wink. But you get what I'm saying? That could be, DJ. And you know what? That means that they'd have to explore the cult of Rakdos and talk to some of his former brothers and sisters in the cult to figure out what young Minotaur Wojek used to do. That could be a side adventure. And his flaw or secret is a D12. 5. Or I guess we're saying he. It could be a he or a she. I don't know yet. If any of you have a preference, we still need a name and is it a boy or a girl? And our... Wait, what did I say it was again? 5? Yes. On a D12, we rolled a 5. Oh, also, this could be interesting. Overpowering Greed. He hopes to be able to take over the block through his machinations and step into the power vacuum left behind after his plans go through. Does that sound familiar? How about that? Do we not have a compelling story with our PCs and our NPCs alone? Oh, I'm sorry if I missed it. Tariff Alley Runner? And DJ, what was your submission? I'm sorry if I missed it. Oh, Gum, you want to call him Gumshoe? Or even Gumchew? So you probably choose this stuff like a fiend. Well, look, he's a Minotaur, right? You know, he's you know how cows chew cud all the time? Well, give a cow some gum and see what happens. Katie Sue, how are you? How did your D&D session go? Everyone, Katie Sue broadcasts D&D and other content as well, but she does run a D&D game. In fact, tonight was one of your play nights. I hope it went well. Your PCs had fun. Certainly looked like you were having a blast DMing. You were really getting into it too. Like I really enjoyed watching your style. So there we go. Yeah, you're very welcome, Katie Sue. Her operator voice acting skills were on point. Yeah, Imagination Studio is hanging out in there too. Oh, I know. Isn't it the best, Katie Sue? Oh, jeez. I'll nerves it. So Katie Sue, Automated Bank Lady was so rough but fun. If you would like to see a summary of what we've been doing, I will direct you here. This is what we've been doing. Total roleplay. I love it when you have a session where you don't roll any dice. Especially if there's also combat. That's an extra fun challenge when you roleplay through your combat or such. Oh, you think I'm going to give you an explanation for this? This speaks to itself, Katie. Can next week's one-word adventure be about this one Minotaur, or at least the focus of it? I'm willing to consider something like that. Alright, so we've gone over the process and how you can flesh out NPCs, and you don't always have to take these 10 steps with every NPC that exists. Sometimes an NPC is a one-dimensional character who exists to serve one function, and that's fine, because they do that one function well, and someone's got to do it, right? If we come up here, sure, we can give our Dimir facilitator, you know, kind of like the Resident Evil 4 merchant. Stranger, stranger, I'll buy it at a high price. You know, we can flesh him out if we want, but really, I think it makes a lot of sense to keep our Dimir facilitator mysterious, where they only know that he gets them stuff and sells it to them. Our PCs, that is. I don't think our Dimir NPC really needs to be a three-dimensional character, a round character. It's perfectly fine being a flat character. Neon Space, thank you very much for that follow. I appreciate it. Okay, I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna take like a 5-minute break. I'm gonna stretch and whatnot. Yeah. Oh, Katie, excellent stuff we have going on in here for that. And you know what? You know you can always hop in our workshop on Discord or something else if you need to. If you need to hop in here, you can hop in voice chat, or you can say, oh, I need to think of 3 NPCs who are X, Y, or Z, and then we'll help you figure that out as well. I seriously doubt the Dimir person, the Dimir cut purse or whatever, is going to give them any semblance of a name. Always, yeah. Yep. Usually when I'm making NPCs, you're live making characters. Yeah. You can use our characters as your NPCs. Okay, so yeah, let's come back in like 5 minutes or so, and then we're gonna go back to the DMG and follow some instructions and guidance as we have with NPCs in how to make a dungeon, and we are going to make an Is It Boiler Works themed dungeon for our PCs to infiltrate and go through, okay? Point me in the direction of your flirty homegirl. Who would that be? Or was that to someone else? DJ, hello, I'm the wolf that howls at noon. Nice to meet you. What can I... Yeah, yeah, exactly. You know, he just sort of like is always behind the characters for some, like, in some way, somehow. Even if they're walking back to back, he can still somehow always show up behind them. Oh, gotcha, Katie. All right. Yeah, and he has some sort of code phrase, you know, the rain in Spain falls mainly on the plains or something like that. Probably a lot more, you know, a lot more not that. A lot more not that. All right, let's go take a 5-minute break, and we'll come back and build a donjon. Mais oui. Oh, but of course. Hello, everyone. I have returned. Dun dun dun. I put up our Boros Reckoner. So he'll disappear for now as he's on our Discord.